back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. It's Expresso right here on SABC3. Now, as Michael Bolton once said, I will go the distance. And these days, with the presence of social media and traveling becoming so easy, long-distance relationships do seem more maintainable than previously. But what is the secret to truly staying happy in a long-distance relationship? Well, how are you and your long-distance partner keeping it together? That's what we're asking this morning. And if you are struggling with dilemmas like these, well, our relationship expert, Dr. Eve, is in the house to engage with your questions or your comments. So please do give us a call on 021 430 9881.
That's right. Dr. Eve, it's great to have
Hello.
you. Well, listen, why is it that relationships seem more desirable or fulfilling when it comes to, being in a close proximity to someone?
I was going to say when they're long distance.
Or the other way.
I think the other way, so it seems incredibly romantic and idealized when you have somebody who's living far away and you can live in the heartache and the pain and the longing, the Michael Bolton songs, the whole romance of it all. They're incredibly difficult to maintain. And what you said just now, Leanne, about technology coming in and being able to maintain long-distance relationship, I am interested to hear what people have to say about that, because I actually think that technology delays the inevitable, which is actually a breakup. It kind of is just makes it feel more feasible. We can do it because we can WhatsApp, we can Skype each other, we can voicemail each other, we can just be in contact every single day. So we're actually going to be able to sustain this thing called a long-term relationship. But it really does require a number of considerations before you get into it.
Exactly.
And sometimes people don't plan to get into it and find themselves in it actually. And then once they're in it, the maintenance of it is quite surprising for people. Like, now we're in it.
Exactly.
How do we maintain this?
Well, my aunt met her husband online. And that worked. They're still together like 15 years down the line, 2 children, very happily married. But my question is, for a lot of other people, how maintainable, sustainable is a relationship that's long distance when you've met online? Because fortunately, he was able to come here straight away and they were able to, kind of build on it. But for a lot of people, that's not the case.
Well, you've just said the magic thing, that he was able to come and meet in person straight away, because that's going to give you a better chance of knowing straight away, is this relationship something we want or we don't want? So the different kinds of long-distance relationships. There's the ones that are quite unexpected, like the one you described, where people get online or onto a dating site, or they meet somewhere, via a different kind of social platform, and don't intend to start a long-distance relationship, but find through their chatting that they actually really like each other and they want to continue, and so it becomes this long-distance relationship. So those are what's called the unexpected ones. And then there are ones which are kind of surprising. So you would then meet somebody in real life and think, okay, this is just a holiday hookup, or this is just a kind of a fun time to be spending together, and then find that when they're apart from you, that you really want to be spending more time and you want to continue what you had in real life. And then those are the surprising ones that become long distance. And then you end up in relationships where you have a real life relationship, and it's happened so often today. People get transferred, or people want to go work in a different country or in a different city, and they then become long distance, even though you didn't plan it to become a long distance relationship. So there are various challenges at each one of these different kinds of long distance relationships.
Well, we hope to dig into those a little bit deeper, especially if you dated in proximity and then had to move away. Our lines are open. Dr. Eve with us this morning. Give us a call, 021 430 9881.
It's my Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Well, we're still with Dr. Eve this morning. We are asking the questions. We are talking about the topic, being in a relationship, a long-distance relationship. Our lines are open. That number is 021 430 9881. And we ended it off the last time asking Dr. Eve, how is a long-distance relationship sustainable if you met dating in proximity and then the partner moved away?
It's a big decision that a couple has to make. And I think it depends also on the age and the stage of your life. If you are already in a committed relationship and if you have children, well, you're going to really make it work. And what I find, Zoe, is that people seem to quite thrive, or relationships can do really, really well under those conditions. Because the thing that we know from talking so much about it here on the show, relationships really thrive when there is not a lot of blending and intertwining and expectations of being joined at the hip with each other. So having the sense of freedom and space to be able to go and do your work and go and live a life a little separately for a period of time, and I'll come back to the time factor, seems to make relationships really rich because you get the independence and the freedom, and you know that this person is accountable and reliable and trustworthy, because that's one of the big things that have to be taken into consideration with a long-distance relationship. So relationships can really thrive, but it depends very much on your personality and also what we call your style of attachment.
Talking about
Yes.
that, you said relationships can thrive based on personality,
Yes.
based on style of
Yes.
attachment.
Yes,
But how
exactly.
about communication?
Yeah.
Because I can imagine that being apart is one thing, but communicating and staying connected is a whole different thing altogether.
Absolutely. So if you're going to have the richness of technology, which of course is there and which can happen, you have an absolute ability to be more intimate long distance than you are face to face. And this came up in my research, which I did for cyber infidelity, and looking at how people communicate online. You know, what was so enticing and seductive about talking to somebody online when you've got a partner right next to you in bed. So by that I mean when you've got somebody long distance, you can get into a really what's called hyper-personal intimate space where you're talking to this person who is your partner, who is your lover, but you're getting really deeply into vulnerable places because you're chatting online. You know, a lot of people find it very difficult to communicate face to face. So there is a richness that can happen when you have a partner living far away and you're dependent on chatting online or Skyping. You get more real, you get more honest. If you're a person who doesn't communicate in that way and keeps it kind of superficial, you're going to keep doing that when you're traveling. You're going to keep doing that when you're away from each other. And you may just be used to that form of communication. It may be good enough for you. But you also might find that it's not sustainable because the other person isn't sharing, this is my world, or these are photos of where I work or people that I hang out with. And then it's going to be very difficult to sustain a long-distance relationship.
Sure, absolutely.
Well,
Well, that's what we're talking about this morning. How does one sustain a long-distance relationship? Are you in one currently? Do you have any struggles? Do you have maybe some successes that you want to share with us? Give us a call. That number is 021 430 9881.
It's my Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Welcome back. This is your Feel Good Breakfast Show. It's Expresso. Time for us to talk relationships. We have Dr. Eve with us in studio. Our lines are open. 021 430 9881. If you've got a comment or a question about making a long-distance relationship work.
Tell us how.
Eve, yes, we want to know how. We love hearing your stories. But let's quickly, we've spoken about some of the positive aspects about connecting with someone that you live a far away, if you live apart. But what about some of the disadvantages of a long-distance relationship?
So consider a regular relationship with somebody's down the road or in your bed with you. How much effort and time you have to put into that. It becomes work, which hopefully is pleasurable work because there's a payoff for you. But it's double work when you've got somebody's long distance because you're living your life over here and you consciously have to create relationship with this person and keep that person in your life all the time. And that means you have to be prepared for a lot of extra work. The other thing that people don't really think about in long distance is finances. It's expensive. It's expensive to keep traveling and being present with each other. It can be very exotic and romantic. You meet in kind of distant destinations every now and then, but it's adding to your budget every single month. So we've got time, which is a resource. We've got money, which is a resource. And then also, you know, the exhaustion factor of it. You come home at the end of the evening and in your regular relationship, you kind of feel tired. You don't really want to talk. You don't want to be sexual. And here you've got somebody now who might be in a different time zone to you.
6 hours ahead or behind.
Exactly. And they kind of like feeling frisky or they want to be engaging with you. And you're thinking, okay, you know, this is bedtime for me. So there are disadvantages to it. And one of the big personal psychological difficulties with it is insecurity. How do you build that trust and how do you feel secure enough in yourself to have a relationship which feels safe?
We've actually got a caller on the line. Katiwa from Mafeking. How are you, Katiwa? What's your question for Dr. Eve?
Hello, how are you?
Good, thank you. Do you have a question or comment for Dr. Eve?
Yeah.
You can go for it, Katiwa.
How are you, doctor?
Hi, I'm great. I'm looking forward to hearing you. Talk
I
to
am from
me.
Zimbabwe and I am from Zimbabwe, so I moved to Mafeking and then I left my girlfriend in Zimbabwe. So my girlfriend kind of broke up with me recently because I moved away from Zimbabwe. So I want to know how I can keep things working for her.
That's such an excellent question, because we're talking about relationships, and I've also been thinking in the back of my mind around not only intimate relationships, but relationships that we have with children, with family. I would really say to you, be present with her all the time, irrespective of what her age is. You want to be the person and the parent who is there on technology, on Skype, looking at her, chatting to her. How old is she right now?
She's 18 years.
18 years. Okay,
Yeah.
so she's independent, and she's not dependent on her mother to put her in front of a screen or to talk to you. So you must develop an independent relationship with her. And one of the big things with long-distance relationships, you want to have regular times of meeting, so that you know that whatever you can afford, say it could be every 6 weeks or every 6 months or every 3 months, you want to have a date that you know you can look forward to meeting up face-to-face with each other. Is that something that's possible for you to do with her?
Yes, we usually chat sometimes, but sometimes she just get angry because I said I'm going to go back there in December.
Yeah.
So that's why she gets angry.
She wants to see you sooner than December?
Yeah, she wants to see me sooner.
Yeah, so you feel guilty and horrible, I'm sure. Yeah, you're laughing, and that's not a laugh that I'm hearing. It's a painful laugh. You got to keep in her life. You've got to please just. This is Women's Month. We do not want women not to have dads around. Stay in her life. Stay in her life.
I understand. Yeah, I understand that. Thanks very much.
Okay,
Thank
honey.
you so much, Katiwa. Thank you so much for your call, and we hope that in some way that's assisted you. It's a very difficult situation, but that's why we have our relationship expert, Dr. Eve, here, and we will continue to take your calls about your struggles, things that you're going through with regards to long-distance relationships, whether it's a partner, whether it's a family member. Please do give us a call on 021 430 9881.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Well, we're catching up one more time with Dr. Eve, and we're talking about long-distance relationships. I know there's a lot of people out there that are currently dealing with whatever it is, but let's end off in a bit more of a positive note. How does one make a long-distance relationship work, Dr. Eve?
I'm going to come to that. I just want to pick up on one of the tweets that I just got from Sandile, which I find absolutely fascinating, where the tweet says, people are in social networking relationships, not long-distance relationships. And it's like, that is so true.
Yeah.
How many of you are doing that, or in a Facebook relationship or a Twitter relationship or online dating? And that is a relationship, but you have no intention, and this is the modern way of doing things, no intention of meeting, no expectation of anything more, and feeling satisfied because I have this person in my life all the time, but I don't have them around. So I think that, that's an interesting conversation.
We've also got Linda from Cape Town on the line this morning. Good morning, Linda. Do you have any relationship advice for us this morning?
Hi, good morning, Leanne.
Hi.
I'm phoning about my daughter and son-in-law.
Yeah.
They had a long distance. He was German and she was she's South African, and they met in the hospital. But both of them communicated regularly. When you went back to Germany, they kept phoning. When the relationship got serious, she started German lessons. By the time she met his family, she could speak German fluently.
Commitment.
And they traveled from one country to the. That went on for 3 years until he decided to come. Well, they're both doctors, that he could work here in South Africa. And they've been married 17 years.
Oh, that's awesome.
I don't have to say anything else. There we go. Linda just set it out for us. What are the advantages? What are the things that one has to do? Is have a sense of huge commitment, reliability, responsiveness, commitment to be investing in taking lessons in different language, and over a period of 3 years. That's really, really remarkable. That's very impressive.
Thank you so much, Linda.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that with us.
I love that.
I really like that.
Yeah, that's
a good way to end it
off.
off.
It's a nice romantic story to end it. And I think the way to end it's what I said earlier on is you have to have goals. So you know we're going to be meeting every 6 weeks or every 6 months. Otherwise, you are just all over the show. You have to have accountability. You have to be somebody who is strong in themselves, independent in themselves, and secure. Because if you're going to be this crazy neurotic person who's all the time checking up, is he or she on WhatsApp all the time? That is no way to be living a life. You can't do that. And I love the idea of social networking relationships Are they significant enough for you? Can they sustain you in the world? So get onto my Facebook page and let's take this conversation further.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Let's
loving
take the
that.
conversation further. Thank you so much,
Yes.
Dr. Eve. I don't know how Idris and I do our long-distance relationship. It's very difficult, but we get it right. I'm just kidding. People are going to think, oh, she's a freak. But we'll chat relationships again next week. Monday, same time, same place.